This is Fantasy Football Till Death. V17.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 7 of the Fantasy Football Till Death podcast. I'm your host, Thomas Wright, and your league mate, joined alongside, as always, Sam Singer. Sam, we've been getting pretty good at these intros.
Yeah, we're
and by we,
pro.
I mean you.
Thank you.
Lead us in, please. I don't even want to talk about anything else, man. We are primed. We are ready. We want to attack this podcast with the ferocity of Robert Saleh on a job hunt. Lead us in for this week's episode.
Wow, boys. We are at week 6 already. We blinked an eye. I just got over my draft, and we're at week 6. That puts us 1 week away from halfway through the regular season. Can you believe that? Time flies. Oh, my gosh. How's everyone feeling? How's everyone feeling as we get to this point in the season, huh?
Very mixed bag. I'm assuming it's a very mixed bag.
Mixed bag, but nutty. I mean, I feel like everyone's still in the mix. No one's running away with things. Seems like we got a lot of
those
parity.
are two different things, right? Everyone's still in the mix and and no one's running away with things. I would say the first part is a little bit less true than the second part there.
Well, okay, on paper, everyone's technically still in the mix.
Yeah, it's hard to be eliminated from playoff contention 5 weeks in.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what? Everyone's mostly 2-3 or 3-2 at this point.
Yeah,
for the most part, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
pretty
so
good.
we have what? 1-4-1, 2 4-1s. Got
Two
Graham,
4-1s.
Graham and Luke at 4-1.
Yep.
And
slew of 3-2s.
Yeah, we've got some 3-2s,
some 2-3s.
Not a lot of 2-3s, but we have a couple 1-4s. We got Jason and Ben.
Jay and Ben.
And 1 0-5 in Kendall.
1 0-5.
So some decent. Yeah, womp womp womp, and we'll definitely get there. But as far as agenda goes, what do we have today, Sam?
Boys, we got another good episode for you. We're going to break it down. Week 5 recap. Some more injuries, unfortunately, we're going to have to touch on. You know, we got our suicide watch of the week. I wonder who's going to be on that list. Do you have any idea, Thomas?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't think of one person that might be on it. I feel like everyone in our league is completely happy and satisfied with how things are going.
Stay tuned and find out. That's all I'm saying. We've got a new segment for you, which is a little bit of a spin-off of the segment that we did for you last week that didn't make the podcast, called the Trade Train Express.
Woo!
Oh yeah, we got some parties going on.
We got some partiers here in Oceanside. By the way, we're streaming live. We're streaming actually. Yeah, check out our Twitch. We are recording live from Sam's
0
balcony.
Viewers. Yeah, we're on my balcony. We got some riffraff happening in the street.
Oside. Welcome to Oside, Sam.
Thank you very much. Back to it. Anyways, the Trade Train Express, new segment we're bringing to you.
All aboard.
We're going to talk about some teams that maybe might be wanting to get a little frisky here 6 weeks into the season. And then, you know, we got to round it out with the crowd favorite, Gambler's Alley, $100 on the line. Next time we win, we're pressing to 1,000. So short but sweet, but, you know, we had to get you guys something to shut you guys up.
Yeah, by the way, props to Sam for the editing last week. It was so ragtag. It was actually really funny. And we did this. It was like 8 p.m. when we finished. It was dark. It was pitch black. I mean, I guess 8 p.m. for some people is not late. For me, it felt like it was
late.
3 a.m. But
that's late.
Yeah, it was ragtag. Again, we are recording on the AirPods, so I'm sure Sam will work his magic. But we apologize for the dip in audio quality. I was listening back to the previous ones, and it just made me appreciate the equipment so
honestly,
much more.
You guys have come to expect the best from us, and we're not bringing it right now, but trust us, we're working hard to win your trust back. Next week we should be back sounding like normal. If the good Lord allows.
That deal's coming. That Spotify deal is coming. We took a couple week break from having the chance to hit it big, but next week it might be our big break.
Honestly, you know what it is, man? We just got big heads. We got a little bit of positive feedback, and we got lazy. We started recording on our phone and back alleys, and yeah. So next week, we're back with a force. All right. You want to take us through a Week 5 recap?
Week 5 recap. Yeah, so Week 5, we already gave a little bit of a recap as far as records are concerned, there were some crazy matchups last week, which, unless you're the one that's on the receiving end of that L for the rest of the league, it makes it a little exciting. Even if your matchups are already determined and you've lost, it's at least fun to just be like, okay, cool, Sunday night, Monday night, there's things at stake, things that actually can draw some interest from me to watch for those games. And man, we had some crazy ones. I want to start with this Griffin Hunter and Evan matchup. It looked like it was going to be a runaway for Griffin Hunter, going from 3-1 to 4-1. Evan pulls off quite the last-second comeback.
What a comeback.
Off of Shaheed and Xavier Worthy, his boys. And I do feel bad for Hunter. He was ahead by a lot. I think it was a whole second half of the slate win plus that Sunday night and Monday night, or I guess it was just Monday night. But Evan, from the depths of hell at 1-2, claws back. Now he's 3-2 after a couple cool trades. So that one was exciting. The other one that I think caught everyone's eye, it was this Luke Kendall matchup. And
another good one on that Monday night. Man.
Luke, we were kind of talking about his team as an Applebee's team a couple weeks ago. And what did he do? He's responded with 2 crazy point-scoring weeks back-to-back to land himself at 4-1. Kendall goes to 0-5. It was a coin flip going into the night. I did think that Kendall had the leg up there, and it literally went down to the last drive. Chris Olave, not exactly a guy you want to hang your hat on to take you over the finish line. 2 points. I've been there, done that, Kendall, and I'm sorry. That was a really, really, really
real
tough loss to cap a 5-game.
Real tough, especially Chris Olave literally blowing it for him.
Of all people.
Chris Olave dropping about a 20-yard pass right off his fingertips. That would have solidified the win for Ken. That's a bummer.
How about Drake London going for high 20s earlier that week on a Thursday? And I think he got flipped for him, right?
Yeah. London with the game of his career, 12 catches, 140 some odd yards, TD. That's tough. That add it to the list of games that Ken would have won if he didn't trade. Add it to the list. Ken might be 4-1, 3-2. Ken, just sorry about that, buddy. Sorry about that.
Let's go, Kendall. You got this. Stay alive, my friend. Stay alive. We had Big Trip against Brendan. This was a matchup that looked like potentially it was going to favor Brendan, especially early on. Griffin Springfield didn't have Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he did have his backup in there, replace the production, but didn't have Amon-Ra and not even starting Pat, who was somewhat of a centerpiece in that trade he made with Evan. Without those guys, Springfield still scores 145 and just a massive win over Brennan there. B's team 124.
Real good showing.
Really good showing. Not enough to go on a complete fire sale following it, but amazing showing. Griffin goes 3-2. Brennan falls to 2-3 in that matchup. How about that showing though by Brennan's team?
That's a good showing. I mean, 124 points, looking good. So like we said, a big performance by Drake London. But nonetheless, Brennan hit the ground running right after that. Full fire sale.
Everyone must go.
It's about W's. It doesn't matter the points you score. It's about getting those wins. And some changes had to be made. And Kyron, bye-bye. See you later, buddy. Bucky Irving, bye-bye. See you later, buddy. So we'll see how that pans out. I think maybe there's a little bit of consternation in that locker room right now, but let's see if Brennan can whip him in the shape.
No. That's the exact opposite. That's why Brennan made the trade. He needed a locker room change.
He got rid of the cancer, huh?
He got rid of the cancers. And honestly, I spoke to him. I was in the trenches with him. We were in the GM booth, me and him. We were hammering some things out. We're on the phone. We were sending emails, texts. It was intense, the negotiation table. And moral of the story was, some people are just cancers. Some people are culture fixes and some people are culture issues. He shipped the guys that were really infecting the culture. And as far as he's concerned, the team has made positive strides here in the last few days.
So that's all it's about. That's all it's about.
One foot in front of the other, and I think Brennan set up for success this week. We'll talk a little bit more about trades in a sec, but big win for Spring. Last one to cover. Actually, no, we have two. I'll quickly gloss over mine and Ben's. That one was the toilet bowl game of the week. Ben's team was looking pretty soft going into it. No offense, Ben. Nothing to complain there. Kudos to Ben for sending the emoji into the group.
Let's go, Ben.
I was so shocked. I completely forgot that we even gave him that little subliminal message. And he did.
He did it.
Did you recognize it right away, or were you shocked too?
It took me a minute. And then I realized what was going on there. So let's go, Ben. Thanks for listening.
Give him another one.
And if you're still tuned in.
Yeah, there we go. Give him another one.
Let's get creative this week. Ben, why don't you send us the robot smiley face emoji if you're still listening?
There we go. Ben, if you're listening, robot emoji. But yeah, cheap win. Cheap win for me over Ben. It was a good week to play him. I'm thankful to get a win. Win's a win. My guys dramatically underperformed per usual. 14 from Bijan and Priest seems to be a recurring theme. So, good for those guys. Miracle showing for Mooney for 27 and, got it done. So that was nice. Lastly, you had yourself a fun little game. 145 over Casey. Casey was dealing with some additional shortages to his lineup. No Montgomery there, but
the Cleveland stack didn't show up. New arrival Garrett Wilson though with the best game of his season. That was looking good. Unfortunately, Jordan Mason had an off night, and now looks like he's going to be potentially missing some time. But other new addition, Rico Dowdle, looking like a stud. Top 10 RB on the week. But yeah, my team just went off. They had to send Nico Collins into that good long night with a smile on his face. So got the win. Did not get highest points. Missed out by 0.2 in spring, but made that hedge.
Look at you.
Walked away with some money. So
I've never seen that happen before in the league. That might be a first.
Yeah, the hedge.
The point scoring hedge.
Coin flip hedge.
I don't know. Maybe we should. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about that league? Is that sort of taking away from the whole point of it? Are we losing some integrity of the top score there?
Look at it like this. I made Spring a $60 bet that he would win the points, and he made me a $60 bet that I would win the points.
You guys it's another form of hedging. Hedging each other's successes. I like it. But how about
hedging each other hard?
You guys are edging super hard. How about 61 from Chase and Moore? That's not bad, is it?
The Chase Moore combo is sweet, and I'm going to need that to keep up because my stallion, my big hog, he's gone for at least 4 weeks plus a bye, and there's only 9 weeks left in the regular season, so I'm going to need that combo to keep up. Hopefully DJ and Caleb worked something out, went to dinner, figured out how to keep that connection going because, DJ's got it in him, and apparently Caleb's got some 300-yard games in him too, so if they can keep it up, I should be all right.
Yeah, that wraps it up.
That being said, I would like one more good player on my team.
You heard it. And maybe we'll touch on that in a little bit. But you got the dub. You got a bunch of points under your belt. That's going to be helpful down the road. And at least you're 3-2 working through that injury.
That's true. That's true.
That was week 5. Fun week. And
really fun week.
We're going to be rolling into week 6 here. Believe it or not, we are almost 50% of the way through the season.
Yeah. And speaking of being 50% of the way through the season, you know what time it is.
Hold on. Walk me through that segue.
Well, let me walk you through it.
Okay.
Speaking
land the plane here on that segue.
Speaking of being 50% of the way through the season,
okay,
you know what time it is.
You just said it more slowly. I don't know if that changed the context.
Do you understand?
Okay. I'm following now.
It was just week 5.
Yep.
We're heading into week 6.
Yeah.
Do you know what time it is? Therefore,
if so, okay, got it.
Do you know what time it is?
I have a gut feeling.
Obviously.
I have a gut feeling. And the only reason I know what time it is because we're almost 50% of the way through the season.
Exactly.
So, with that being said, it is
Suicide Watch List time.
Let's go. It's everyone's favorite section, Suicide Watch of the Week.
You want to lead us off?
Yeah, I would love to lead us off. I was on the cliff's edge last week. Honestly, if I lost this past week, I might not have made the pod. I might have just
Yeah,
ask for a guest
I would have been
host.
alone trying to do this on
You
my
would
own
have
this
just
week.
done an hour monologue. Yeah,
Reading your obituary.
I would have no longer been on watch. I would have. My watch would have ended. I would have taken the sword at Castle Black through the heart. I would have taken the samurai's way out. I think I would have just ended it. My watch would have ended, and that would have been it. But fortunately, I somehow wore 14 from Brees and Bijan. Winning cures everything, right? Winning cures everything.
Wins a win.
Still have some deep resentment towards some people, but I am off suicide watch this week, and I am going to nominate a man that knows how to rant, a man that I think could rival my rant on the podcast last week, and that's going to be Griffin Hunter. He is my nominee for suicide watch of the week. I'm sorry to have you here, Griff. It's your first time on the list, so that there's something to be said about that. Last week was a tough one for him. And
Real tough.
You know why I know it was especially tough? Because we didn't hear from him for multiple days. I'm really not sure if we've heard from him.
I don't know if yeah. Hunter, if you're alive, buddy.
Yeah.
Send us the robot smiley face emoji.
He's out there. I know he's out there. And actually, I sent him a text the other day. I don't know if it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Just like not even a trash talking text. It was like a really like encouraging, like, let's go, best of luck, let's score some points sort of thing. He didn't even respond with anything about fantasy football. He just said a Go Pods text. So I know
oh boy,
he's been cleansing last week's loss now for a few days. And I don't think it's going to get any better for him this week, unfortunately, Griff. But last week was rough. I mean, it's not every day. It's not every day that Roshan Johnson scores 2 touchdowns on you. But last week wasn't every day. It was a once-in-a-lifetime time. And Evan cashed in. And he won by 0.1.
0.1.
He won by
1 yard.
0.1 points.
1 yard.
I think that can – 1 yard. 1 yard says it all. Roshan Johnson, 14.5. Evan had some standout performances by some guys that, aren't completely unrealistic to score, so it wasn't like he would never in a million years expect Shaheed to have a decent game or Worthy to show up with those injuries. But I think it was the Johnson thing, and that 0.1 is tough to swallow.
Well, and for all these players to do it at the same time, 16.6 from Shaheed, not surprising, but to do it the same week that Xavier gets another TD, to do it the same week Terry McLaurin scores double digits.
Yeah.
Eckler with almost 11 points for that all. Mayfield with 30 for that all to come. By the way,
it's a perfect storm.
Who's won the Mayfield Mahomes trade so far? Just looking at quarterbacks, Mayfield looking really good, but that's a tough one, Hunter. That's a real tough one.
Tough dude. I would like a little bit. I mean, we got a little bit of Johnson like ranting from him, but I'd like a more complete rant. I would. It's good content. So Griff, if you've emotionally or mentally recovered from the loss, which I'm sure you haven't, those things take a while. Throw some profanities in the group chat. Maybe get it off your chest a little bit. I know it always helps. So
it's a safe place.
I don't want to harp on it too much more, but that was knowing exactly what was probably going through Hunter's head. He is my nominee for Suicide Watch of the Week.
Which brings us back to a familiar place. A place that we've been for 5 weeks, maybe.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Ken, come on in. Sit down, buddy. Take a seat. Feel the soft wall. Do you want me to loosen your straitjacket for you a little bit? Ken, you're still on the list. I think we made it clear you got to win your way off this list, but I really thought it was going to happen on Sunday night. Really thought it was going to happen. I was watching that game. Man, the basic goose egg from Olave really hurts, especially when Kareem Hunt had such a sick game, when Travis Kelce did what he needed to do. KC defense was all right, but that Olave basic goose egg, and all he needed was realistically one more catch to get you over the hump there. And he had his opportunity on the last play of the game. And right off his hands, right off his fingertips, a perfect throw by the Saints' third-string quarterback. And Olave can't capitalize on it. And sends Ken to 0-5. And he had to jettison Rashi this week. And so, buddy, you're familiar with this room. You're familiar with this space. But we're sorry to see you here again, honestly. And I can't wait for the episode where you're not involved in this segment. So
Keep
head
trucking,
up, buddy.
Ken. Keep trucking. I do want to make note, though. Would you mind if I gave an honorary
Please do.
Suicide Watch of the Week
Please do.
nominee? So I'd like to welcome him back. He has actually been a member before. I especially want to do so because I'm just realizing now we forgot in the week 5 wrap up to include this matchup. I don't want to take away any shine from these two guys. So I am going to touch on this last matchup. Just let you guys know we care about you. We're not trying to forget and skimp on anyone for the content here. So with that being said, my honorary Suicide Watch of the Week goes to our buddy Jason Gregory. Jason, ROI guy, I love ya. Matched up against Graham this week, sans Saquon Barkley. And Graham scored 92 and Jason's team couldn't get it done for him. So I think if we said, hey, you're going to be playing Graham with Saquon out and Kamara scores less than 10, he gets shut down. Your team is looking good. It's looking primed. He would have taken those odds. Couldn't crack 81. He scored 80. His wide receivers, which he's I know he was at least going into the season very fond of, have often let him down. And sitting at 1-4 with a team that his haiku shined skill very brightly upon. I'm sure he feels the sting of the unfortunate.
That's a tough one.
The misfortune, the unlucky.
It's very unlucky, especially when Graham's known for his juggernaut running backs and he gets a combined 15, 16 points out of his running back position this week. Gets combined 6 points out of two of his 3 wide receivers. Brock Purdy
gets a strange TD. Jay, he probably wanted to jump off watching the strange TD. It was actually pretty funny. And it was really closely mirrored with Keon Coleman's touchdown, which was one. Keon Coleman basically had one play. And it was like a little sideline route. The guy missed the tackle. And then Coleman stepped out of bounds, and they didn't call it. And then he went and rumbled 30 yards for a touchdown.
So dumb.
So, Jason must have been going nuts. I feel for you, Jay. It's not funny for you, but imagining it was kind of a little bit funny.
So honorary
suicide watch list.
Jay's inspecting the facilities, deciding if this is a place he's going to need to check into or not. So
kudos to Graham, by the way, for 4-1. There's just something in the air. I feel it. Like I had mentioned it already on the pod. That's why I picked Graham a couple weeks ago. There's some juju. There's something. The spirit of that team is it just feels good. I don't know if it's the opposite of the Super Bowl hangover, where there's just good vibes. Something that you can't put a finger on. It goes beyond football. Something's happening in that locker room. Something special.
He's got it rocking.
So
speaking of that, speaking of good vibes
only.
Speaking of Graham. Graham said over under trades this week. 4. We're at 2. Both courtesy of the undefeated, Brennan Hurley. Do we want to go into our new segment right now? Trade Train Express?
All aboard? I hear a train in the background.
Choo-choo!
There's actually there's a literal train.
Yeah,
we're right next to the train tracks.
We timed that perfectly.
Represent Coast Highway.
Coast Highway, baby.
Let's do it. All aboard. Let's hop on.
We got a new segment for you guys. Thomas and I came up with 2 people each that might be looking at hop on board, get frisky in the trade market. And
you ever jumped a train?
You ever been part of a train?
They're 2 completely different questions.
Speaking of that, we're 3 short of a train. And
I can give you 2. I can give you 2.
You can give us 2?
I can give you 2.
2 solid inches of American justice?
I can't promise that. I can give you 2 bodies.
2 bodies. So Thomas and I picked a couple people each that we think might want to be getting frisky on this little love train. You want to lead us off?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. So real quick, provide some context to the comment. We put the over-under at 4. Brennan Hurley, he's already struck twice. 2 trades. Give a quick recap on those. First one, big one. That's the overnight one. Right after week 5 ended, he traded with Griffin Springfield. He sent Kieran Williams. Yeah, pretty decent guy. But like we said, cleansed the locker room, finally got rid of the trio of Bijan, Jamar, and Kieran. 3 utter cancers. Cleansed them. Traded Kieran, and he got Ramondre and Stephon Diggs.
Diggs and Ramondre.
Yeah, Diggs and Ramondre. Springfield capitalizes on Ramondre going from coach speak benching to having a one long touchdown and ending with a pretty decent game. Maybe there was a bit of homerism there for Brennan, being a Ramondre fan. I don't know if you watched the game. I watched him. Looked like he broke his shin late in the game or some lower body injury.
Yeah,
I watched it. He went out, and then he looked hurt. So I don't know if Brennan watched that, but clearly he knows that Ramondre comes from good stock and that he'll be back better than ever. Makes the trade regardless. I was kind of excited not excited, but I was feeling opportunistic as a Gibson owner watching that injury. Regardless, he makes the trade, takes Ramondre in, and also gets Diggs, I think, led by the Nico injury. So we'll see what kind of production Diggs levels up to. He's already been fairly solid. He's had a couple pretty good games. So, yeah, I think it is what it is at this point. It's more of a culture fit for Brendan.
It's a culture fit. He did the same thing last year when he jettisoned Jamar, Josh Jacobs, Pacheco, right? Or did he get Pacheco? I can't remember.
No, he traded Pacheco to Graham, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And made it to the finals.
Yeah.
Made it to the finals.
We'll see how it goes.
It's about the culture. It's about the vibe.
It is. It's about it's big time. It's big time about that. Springs team. Needless to say, it makes his team look extra scary, but it is what it is. We'll see how it plays out. So one trade, and then there's a little low key trade. Brendan and I, like I said, we were laying all the cards out on the table, talking about how we can improve our teams in sort of not the most flashy of manners. And we threw out a little one. We did a Mooney and Gibson trade for Bucky Irving and Rome. And I think that one's going to play out pretty interestingly at this point. Ramondre's out, so he's getting Gibson there to fill in. Mooney has shown that he's a big part of that offense, coming off his basically career best game, and Rome has been fairly disappointing so far. So, I can't really speak too much on it. I don't know if you had any thoughts. It's kind of an under-the-radar trade, but
hey, it's an under-the-radar trade. It's a trade that could have big implications as the season progresses. If Keenan keeps getting hurt, for example, with Rome's kind of an afterthought in that trade. If Keenan proves that he can't play through his foot stuff and Caleb keeps improving and turns into this, I've heard people talking about, Caleb's going to be a top 10 QB rest of schedule. I'm not sure if I buy into that, but if that does happen, he sure does have a connection with Rome. Obviously, immediately Gibson steps in to help B out with the Ramondre situation, get some return on that investment real quick. So Darnell Mooney can have really good weeks. And Bucky Irving slotted into a starting running back position too immediately after that trade happened. So, with both those trades, it's like 24 hours later with the news that you have, you're probably not making either of them.
Yeah.
If you're Brendan.
Right.
If you understand that Ramondre's got an injury he's dealing with, if you understand that Bucky's about to be the only person getting touches in that backfield, you're probably hanging on to those players. You're probably rolling out the Kyron, Bucky Irving stack. But
that sounds scary. Minus Kieran being on bye.
Oh yeah, next week, assuming White can't come back, but that's how this stuff goes. So regardless, B got some good players back in return. So it's not for nothing. And he got that culture, that bad culture.
But most importantly,
the most important thing.
So that's cool. So that's the context for this train that we're about to hop on, the trading train. See if we can get to 4. We only have a couple days. So guys, if you are thinking about it, start casting the nets, start seeing what's out there, start being proactive. But my first nominee that's going to be hopping aboard, jumping this train, which by the way, seems really easy on shows and movies. Just hopping on and just jumping the
Run a train?
Oh, yes. No, it looks really easy in those movies you're talking about. I'm talking about the
What
actual
movies are you talking about?
Yeah, like an actual train that's on tracks.
Like 7 guys.
Yeah. Anyways, my guy, my nominee. First one I think should be jumping on the train is Mr. Ben. Mr. Ben, once again, more than likely he might listen to this in a week or two, but neither here nor there. Ben he's struggling right now. He's been a victim of a couple injuries, a couple adjacent injuries, and he's in win now mode. So if I'm Ben, I might be looking to ship Neighbors. And I'm not just saying that because I personally reached out to him about Neighbors. I think, the guy's out this week and he needs to win now. I don't know how much time he has to sit back and afford to not strengthen his team week to week, right? Once your record becomes, 1-3, 1-4, 0-4, the season starts shrinking. It's no longer about long-term goals. It's about week-to-week goals, and you got to win now and stay alive. So if I'm Ben, I'm thinking about shipping out Neighbors, potentially going a 2-for-1 there. Strengthen my team where I can. And if not Neighbors, I'm looking at maybe like a Chan. I'm looking at him and there's going to be some people out there in the league that'll understand the Dolphins' offense isn't going to get any worse. It's going to dramatically improve once Tua comes back, if and when Tua comes back. And now's a good chance to ship him to some people that maybe have a little bit of wiggle room record-wise and are looking for some high upside down the line. So
yeah, the emergence of Swift really makes one of his running backs not expendable, but easy to jettison too, especially if you get some value back, some depth. So
yeah. So Ben, if you want to maybe do a Bijan or Brees for, combination of those guys, just let me know. But yeah, Ben, go make a move, dude. Go make a move. You're 1-4. You're 1-4, and you've got some pieces that you can move right now. Got a Chan on by, got Neighbors out. Go do something. Someone will do it. Hop on the train, Ben.
Hop on the train.
Who you got for me, Sam?
I forget. Who did I say I was going to do?
You said
I zoned out.
You can go Luke and Dom.
Oh yeah, I said I was going to go Luke and Dom. We've been talking about Luke and Dom being a team built to make trades all year. Here we are, heading into week 6. No such action yet out of the Luke and Dom camp,
and haven't needed to.
But this team is built without any true studs. And now you've got B-Rob, their best player, dealing with some injury. You've got Devontae, questions in the air about his injury, whether or not he'll get traded. Jalen Hurts hasn't been good. Burrow looks pretty good too, though. But I think it's time. You got the pieces. You got to go out and get someone. You got to get someone that you can throw in that lineup that is just like an anchor and a stud every week. Higgins, Smith, Godwin, all great receivers, but in like a complementary fashion. B-Rob, Pollard, they've been good, but you wouldn't be surprised if they've got score 4 or 5 points any given week. So yeah, go out and make some moves. You got all the pieces. Whether that's flipping Devontae before he gets traded on the speculation or a 2-for-1 somewhere, probably get some good return on like a Godwin's Higgins for someone, and you've got the depth to make that happen. So that's my nomination.
Let's go, Luke. Luke actually, it was crazy. He actually did send me a semi-trade inquisition.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Spanish Inquisition?
He was very inquisitive about it. He wanted to conquer me. Not sexually. But
what did he want to conquer you
He
with?
said, he asked me about Brees. He asked me about trading Brees. And then he said, what are you thinking? What would it take? I said it would, have to be like a sizable trade, for me to just give up on Brees, especially with, a winning record at the time. I think I was 2-1. And then he responded, yeah, I'll have to see how my team plays out. And I said, okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks for texting and asking. But yeah, you actually did your job.
It's playing out.
It's playing out. It's absolutely playing out. He's like, yeah, let me see in 6 weeks to see who sucks on my team. And then I'll think about shipping them off to you for Brees.
Classic strategy.
Perfect. So, Luke, I think he's trying. So good for you, Luke. All right, number 2. And I'm gonna stay in the family. I'm gonna stay right on here on the balcony. I'm gonna go to Call Me Daddy. I think that you, co-host, have maybe a little bit of a responsibility to start pondering some trades here with your own team. Now, I'll preface this by saying at 3-2, you're not in a huge position of weakness as far as standings go, and you do have a nice points total there, so that'll help with tiebreakers. That gives you another advantage. But we mentioned Nico's out 5 of the next 9 regular season games, the remaining regular season games. You built your team around the Nico Jamar stack, more or less. Obviously, you expect good contribution from Jay Love as a starting quarterback. You hope that your tight end produces. But I think that you would probably say Connor and Etienne are good complementary floor players for your studs. Now, Moore obviously had a spike week last week. That was the first of its kind. And I don't know if you're expecting that every week. So you make that trade, you lose a lot of depth with your Chase trade, and you're thinking that Nico and Chase are going to be the dudes to carry you through the season. That's not the case now. So I'm not saying you need to do anything necessarily. You have to be rash about it, but it's going to be tough with the team dynamic without that anchor, without Nico helping Chase along the way.
Nico's big.
Nico's very big.
Nico is big.
The team was built for him not to be hurt.
Yeah. The team needs some help. Still put up 145 last week, but yeah, gave up some depth there. You know me. I like making trades. I've already made multiple trades this season, and I've always got my eyes open for a good situation. So yeah, we'll see. I'm in a precarious position for sure.
Let it ride, dude. Let it ride. Or grab a few more members and hop on the train.
We're looking for 3. We're looking for 3.
There you go. All right. Who's your last one?
Who is my last one? Who is my last one?
It's your last one. Your self-proclaimed last one
I didn't study for the test.
Was it Evan? We could just skip it. We don't need it. We can get off the train.
Let's skip it.
That was 3. We literally named. We were 3 short, and we gave 3.
That's right. We didn't have a 4.
No, we only needed 3. We were 3 short.
We were 3 short.
And we got the 3.
And that's
3
short of a train.
Hope you guys hop aboard and have a good time.
We're bringing our
Get to know your league mates.
Yeah, there's refreshments in the kitchen.
T-minus about 7 minutes, so I have to be on the road. So we're going to wrap this podcast
Yeah, let's get to Gambler's Alley. You know what time it is. Vegas, baby.
Oh, it's Gambler's Alley, brought to you by Captain Morgan Lime Bite. Fire up your Lime Bite, Griffin Springfield. It's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. You're listening to this. It's Saturday, I'm sure. But still, fire it up. It could be the morning, could be the afternoon. It's never too early for Captain Morgan Lime Bite.
Sponsored by Miller Lite.
All right, let's get to it. Gambler's Alley, week 6 of our fantasy football season. You guys know the drill. We got to hit 6 out of 6. We got to go perfect parlay time in order to win the money. This week's parlay pays out $100.
$1,000.
It's on the way to 1,000. We're on the road to 1,000. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. On the road to $1,000 for a parlay. I don't know which one I'm more excited to. Excited to
live,
to receive,
to have. Bill Simmons, hit me up at FFtilD Death.
Hit us up, Bill. Hit us up, Bill. Well, I'm gonna give you the honor to start us off with the matchup. I think was I last week? Did I go first? I was so lit.
We were both last week,
but I'm gonna let you start it off. You can pick the first matchup and give me your first lock.
My first lock, my lickety lock of the week, double Hattie. Sans Kyron, sans JT, sans Diggs, potentially sans Justin Fields if he gets benched for Russell Wilson. But it's a lock, double Hattie, over Casey, banged up team, quarterback questions, receiver questions.
Casey, he really
questions.
he's the last person in the league, I think, with quarterback questions, right? Doesn't he have Josh Allen?
Josh Allen, yeah. He's been sick for 2 weeks this season and abysmal for 3 weeks this season.
Well, I mean, abysmal. He's 16.5. It's, it's not abysmal. It's not going to lose you the league.
7.3.
Yeah, he had an 11 and a 7.
11.
Tough. Regardless, he's Josh Allen.
playing
He's Josh
the
Allen.
Jets.
It's a set and forget.
It's a set and forget,
not
but you don't
starting
have to
Josh
feel
Allen.
great about it. It's a set and forget because you have to do it because it's Josh Allen. But yeah, Amari Cooper not looked good. Garrett Wilson had a good week. Let's see if he can keep it up. Shakir's injured.
It's Dowdle season though.
Mason's injured. He got Montgomery back. He's got the best running back in the lead, Rico Downwhiddle. But yeah,
tough start. Mason was well on his way to a big game last night. Gets hurt in the second quarter. At least he didn't get him 0, almost 9. Like really good for a quarter and a half of playing. Tough start for him. Casey, please, if you're my first leg of my parlay, can you drop Derek Carr, please? He's out for multiple weeks. I'm not sure if you were trolling by picking him up or you picked him up and then you forgot that you had picked him up and then he got hurt and you kept the bid in and then you ended up with him. Regardless, let bygones be bygones. It's okay. You can drop him now. Throw Allen in the starting lineup. Maybe make sure Shakir isn't hurt. And then let's go. Get me my first win of the parlay here. But
all you got to do is beat the Buffalo Bills backup running back stack that Griffin's got in his lineup.
It's a scary stack.
Yeah,
I wouldn't bet it. It is a scary stack. Okay,
right.
I'm going next here, and I'm excited about this pick. I'm going Evan. I'm picking Evan Simmons over Ben. Nothing against Ben. Like I said, he actually dropped a robot emoji a couple hours before you guys listened to this. He just knew we were going to ask for that. He's so locked into the podcast. But yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit of residual Simmons juju rubbing off from big bro to little bro. I'm starting to feel vibes returning back to Evan's team. His guys are partying. They're hitting the chic restaurants before, nice pregame, going into the nice bars, nice clubs, ending up at pretty fun hookah bars. They're bonding, they're vibing, they're getting trippy, and I think it continues this week with a victory over Ben. So give me Evan.
Give me Evan. It's a lock. All right. Well, then that means I'm up next, and for the next lock of the day, Brendan over Ken. B's got the new juju in the locker room. He's got the culture ironed out. Looks like he's getting Mixon back. Ken, maybe Bigsby's going to continue rolling out Tajay again. Josh Downs looks like Anthony Richardson might be his quarterback again this week. That's no bueno. Olave Schultz. Anyways, probably going to be closer than Yahoo thinks it's going to be, but give me B.
All right, Ken. Here we go, man. Get me $100. It's Tink Bigsby season. Everyone's invited to come watch the show. So, Ken's bound to get lucky one of these weeks. And
get off the list, Ken.
0-6 is hard to do. I don't remember in recent memory anyone that was 0-6.
Get off the list, Ken. You can do it.
Let's go, Ken. Help me win this third leg of the parlay here. All right. My second call, I'm going over to Graham. I'm sticking with the Simmons bros. I have a little bit of a leg up here because I just watched Purdy go for 30. So there's a 30-point head start. Purdy for 30. Absolutely. Graham's 4-1. You know what's better than 4-1? 5-1. And I think this week got Saquon back, joining up with Kamara. It might be a little tougher sledding for Kamara this week. The offense will probably be floundering, but he'll get plenty of touches. His floor should be high. B. Thomas.
Unless Kendra Miller plays.
Kendra season, you're right. The GOAT, Kendra. You have him on the team. But yeah, anyways, should be potentially a nice high scoring game with Luke. 2 4-1 teams. So should be an exciting matchup, but I'm taking Graham.
That brings us just to our matchups. So as is the rule, you pick mine and I'll pick yours. Hunter, man of the list, versus Unbreakable. Man who just happened to fall into the best running back in the league in Bucky Irving. I got to go with you this week, actually. I think that running back trio is looking pretty good. We got Brees under new management. We got Bijan maybe a little banged up, but going against a horrible Carolina defense. It's got to be his week, right? It's got to be his week. Kurt's not going to throw for 500 yards every week. Bijan's going to fall into the end zone at least. Count him for double digits at least. And I think
Bucky, he might score 10.
He might get 10 for you this week. But Bucky will be your RB1 for sure. 20 plus ball from Bucky.
3 Bs, triple Bs.
And you get AJ back.
Bucky, Brees, and Bijan. Oh yeah, welcome back, AJ.
Welcome back, AJ. So
forgot to mention, welcome back. I literally large portions of the season forgot he was on my team.
Yeah, well, he's back, and that's got to feel nice. It's almost like you traded for him without giving anything up.
Yeah, last week I think I started JSN, Wicks, and Mooney.
Well, Mooney worked out for you.
And he's really good. I mean, he's better than AJ points per game.
He might be.
No,
he might be.
I'm happy to have Brown back. Yeah, I'll take the natural hedge with Hunter as my nominee for this leg of the parlay. Hopefully, we have a high scoring match and it's fun for both. But I think if there was ever a week for some of my players to break out, it would have to be this week. If it doesn't happen this week, you thought B's fire sale was something. Just wait. Just wait till next week. Just wait till next week, and my players will be open season out there. So, alrighty. So, last matchup of the week, we have you lining up against Wop. Not a dick.
Not a dick.
It's a Kendrick.
It's not a dick.
It's not a dick.
It's not a mouth-based video game.
It is a lyric, apparently, against Big Daddy J. Do you want me to hedge? Do you want me to hedge you? Do you want me to send you those vibes?
No, you got to do whatever you got.
Right. I'm going with you. There's something in the water with Jay's team. I feel a bad juju. I just feel a bad juju with Jay's team. On paper, there's some pretty good matchups here. I feel like Laporta's finally got to get going at some point. I think this is going to be a big CD week. Dell, you would think with no Nico, he should have a lot of extra opportunities there. But New England defense, the Stroud Tank combo it's going to be sneaky good out there in New England. They play pretty tough. So Harrison against Green Bay, I think that could be a tough matchup for him. So I'm going to take you here on the back of a 40 ball by Chase in New York. So let's see if we can
Fingers crossed. But I think I'm going to get whopped this week. Who knows? Maybe there'll be multiple fire sales happening.
Was that everything? Do we have them all?
That's it.
All right. Well, that was Gambler's Alley, brought to you by
Captain Morgan Lime New Light.
Bye. I'm feeling it. This could be the week that I inaugurate our $100 payout.
That Bill Simmons calls?
No. We need the real equiment.
Yeah, that's right.
These are tune-up weeks. We're in the batting cages.
We're ramping up like Christian McCaffrey.
Absolutely. We're soaring. We're skying. We're in a little plateau phase, but we're learning. We're learning from these couple weeks, and then we'll be soaring like eagles. We will soar
like eagles and seagulls. Anyways, what a lit episode from my balcony here on this lovely foggy Friday.
Shout out Lit Adventures.
Shout out Lit Adventures.
That apparently is no more. Very mature response by Brendan Hurley. Yeah. Those are still there. They're just a memory.
Nothing. The past doesn't exist.
I felt like that cut a little bit deep to Ken there. I felt kind of sad.
I haven't heard much from Ken since then.
It's okay, B. It's a safe space. You can still talk about those things. We know they don't apply to you now. It's totally fine.
Exactly.
No shame. We've all had our moments. To say the least.
That's saying the least. Yeah. All right, boys. Well, that's episode 7 in the books. For those 3 of you that still listen.
We got some loyal listeners.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. We got the best listeners.
We do. We got the best listeners in the house. Next week, guys, friendly reminder, if you haven't voted already, whether you have an Android or you have an iPhone and you're able to hit the poll, it's voting season. Cast your vote. Make sure you do your civic duty to the league. Cast your vote for the guest on next week's episode. We should have the equipment. We'll be streaming it live a la Brendan on his episode. Let us know who you want to be the next guest. We've got a list and another slot. Try not to hit the other slot because it's a little bit more complicated than just choosing one of your league mates. So
yeah,
let's get this done. Get your vote in, and we'll get us teed up for an exciting episode next week.
Get out and vote.
All righty. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Best of luck to everyone except...
who am I playing this week?
You're playing Jason.
Fuck you, Jason.
Hunter, score some points. All right. Later, guys.
Love you guys. Bye.